Welcome to the Thrive by Day podcast. I'm your host, JJ Day. And for those of you who are joining me on video, I extremely apologize for the first episode of my show is illit, and I'm just rolling with it because I decided I'm doing the thing and it's going to be a little bit messy the first time. Every time you try something new, it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. So we're just gonna roll with it, okay? I also totally look like I am a helicopter pilot or a receptionist or telemarketer. I am not trying to sell you anything. I am just trying to help you. um, so without further ado, I'm JJ Day. I am the creator of Thrive by Day podcast and byDay Productions and Co. Um, that's a whole other thing, but that's part of my brand. I am a conscious creator, law of assumption, manifestation coach, life coach. When it all boils down to, I am I am going through this transition in my life. My content is likely to not be edited until I can afford to hire someone who can help me edit these things. So it's going to be raw off the cuff because that's how I believe life is. I mean, it is how life is, but that's how I believe in running my businesses and anything I do. It's from the heart, it's from the soul, and whatever I'm doing, I'm guided by that and that alone. So I'm currently in a hotel room in Dublin, Ireland. If you are a traveler, I highly recommend coming to Ireland. Dublin, not gonna lie, is not my top because it is so busy. I am much more of a homebody. I liked the quiet. I like to go into the city, but to live here or to stay here for long periods of time, which I have done this entire trip, pretty much, um, I am definitely feeling my anxiety at a high level. If you are an introvert, if you are a recluse, if you like to spend more time in nature and go for walks and hikes and be just in the countryside, go outside of Dublin. Everywhere around it is amazing. And I love the city itself. But while you're here, also, for those of you who are on video, go see this is merchandise from the show 222 playing at the Olympia Theatre here in Dublin, Ireland. And just for those of you who might not know where Dublin is, I say that because back where I'm from, we do have a Dublin. We have a lot of Irish, English, Scottish um, culture and history back there. So a lot of the places names here are also the same back there, but highly different, very different. Um, Now that being said, um, yeah, I highly recommend the show. I've seen it 5 times. I've been here a little over a month. Actually, I haven't been here yet a month. As of today, I will have been just flying in. So I am just about to have been here for a month, and I've seen it 5 times. It is phenomenal. It is very much in this realm of spirituality mixed with science, mixed with religion, just all facets. It's very mind bending, mind opening, and also very like just be ready. It's very jumpy and a lot of fun. I've seen it, like I said, 5 times, and each time I'm still like jumping every time the fights happen because they are well timed. You don't you know that they're coming, but they still get you. That's how I know. Anyway, but so I'm not sponsored by them. They're not promoting this. So take it as you will, but It's a good show. Go see it. Let's get back to what I was trying to say, starting to do this video. I have come on here completely raw, unfiltered, because I have been trying to do this for months, years even, and I'm at a precipice in my life. I'm at a breaking point. Breakthrough. I've broken down many times. Probably will still have many breakdowns as I'm going through this, but I've gotten to the point where I realize there's so much more to be said for trying, for doing that what you say you're going to do. I have been going crazy this month, posting stories and posts to promote the show because I'm so passionate about. When I get passionate about something, this is part of today's topic. I don't even know what I'm going to be titling this video, but it's probably going to be something about following your passion, following your heart, and being unapologetically yourself. That's what this is going to be a title. Learning how to be unapologetically yourself through my perspective. I'm only ever going to, just a disclosure here, I'm only ever going to be coming to you with things I've learned along my own journey. So I will obviously quote people that I've heard or refer you to other people who know more than I do. I'm very much a newbie in the world of conscious creation and choosing your life, because that's what it boils down to. It is your life. There are things that happen in your life. Some say you can't control them, some say you can. There's so many different schools of thought on it. My take is things have happened. I can't change what has happened in my perspective. There are things called revision. There are tools and techniques and stuff that people change their worlds based on going back and revising past memories, which are imaginary acts at this point. Nothing that has been is currently now, and nothing that will be is. It's all happening at the same time. So learning how to be unapologetically yourself, it's a bumpy ride, because what I've come to know is that I'm scared 95% of the time, but that's okay. I've been up and down on this trip, which is really weird because this is the 5th time I've been here, like I said. You think it would get easier and easier. This time has been testing me like just everything I've been trying to do in here, like internally, has been messing me up, so to speak. It's just, I think I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I understand what I'm doing now. I totally get it. And so I go on the high. I'm on the high of, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. Everything's working, everything's grooving, everything's in the flow. I have all the lingo down, I have all the techniques down, I have all the things that you're supposed to be doing in conscious creation. I think I'm a pro. And then something happens in my world, in the reality around me, and it's like, okay, it knocks you down a peg. But this is what I'm coming to understand. Coaches that I've listened to and I've come to respect and, sorry, just one second. Trying to There. Full screen. I don't know if that affects you guys on the viewer end, but I'm new to this. Bear with me. Today's episode is going to be all over the map as I'm getting my thoughts together. And my technology is not my best friend yet. I'm working on that. But I just on this discovery, this soul discovery, that's what it is. I'm remembering who I am outside of my body, outside of my mind. I'm getting back to my soul. And I've grown up in a wonderful family with kind people who love me and want the best for me. But I always grew up feeling like I didn't belong in the world, the family, in the school that I went to, in the friends that I had. I always felt like I was the person who didn't belong. And I don't know why that was, because as far as I know, everybody loved me. Like, I was a nice person, I was a nice kid. I was always very intense. That was my biggest thing, is I was intense. If I found somebody or something, I obsessed over them. Boys especially. I terrified them because I was so intense with my feelings, and I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. I grew up in a family where stuff them down. You don't cry, big, tough girls don't cry. But I wasn't a tough girl. I was a sensitive, very, very sensitive girl. I would hang out with the adults more. I would listen to the adults more. I would be in rooms where like the kids would be playing and I'd be sitting with parents. Or I'd be off with the youngest playing with Barbies. At the time it was the youngest. So I was either playing in an imaginary world with dolls and my friend, my cousins, or I was sitting with the adults learning things, taking things in, just listening, being among the elders, and so I never related to the kids at my own age. I never related to the I never felt like I related to anyone. And I didn't realize until, later in life how lonely I was. I've been alone my entire life. And while most of my life I saw that as a downside, I saw it as a shortcoming, I realize it's been my saving grace in a way, because as I've evolved and as I've grown into who I am now, I realized that I've always been here myself. I was never alone. I was always with myself. Wherever I was being, I was playing, usually in imagination, and that's where it stems from. So, but I was either playing with my dolls, or when I got older, I got into the computer, and I didn't get into the computer, but like the Sim collection, I started with the first one, and I evolved into the fourth. I think there's now a fifth and sixth. I didn't go that far because I finally was like, oh my god, okay, let's start to learn how to live my own world. Ironically, it's not that different. When you come to realize you are the creator in your world and everything around you is reflecting you, everything is a version of you. You are the center of your world. I don't mean that to sound like a narcissistic thing. It isn't. You are literally the person in your life. Always. Wherever anybody else is around you, you are the only one who's ever always with you. and you think that you are going to other people outside of you for help in life. Here's the weird thing. You're actually going to yourself for help. I'm gonna have revelations through this video, and I'm just letting you know because I'm teaching this to myself as well. I don't believe we ever fully know things until we're teaching it to others. I get my biggest downloads or my biggest breakthroughs or aha moments, as people call them, my wow moments, they happen when I'm talking to somebody, when I'm telling somebody something. Usually it's my mom. My mom's the only one who knows how crazy I am. How see? That's how quickly I can start to self-deprecate, is I can just be like, "Oh, I'm crazy." No, I'm not crazy. I'm learning a new way of living that has never been taught to me before. It's being taught to me now. I'm in a community of people who are doing amazing things with their lives, going after their dreams unapologetically, stepping into who they are. And every time I step into who I am, I get this euphoric, I call it the rush of resonance, because I just, if I learn something and it hits me through and through. And then I realize that's when I feel this rush of resonance is when my hair stands on end, my arm gets all tingly and, you know, chicken or not chicken bumps, goosebumps. Can't even think, but goosebumps come out of my skin. And I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense to me right now. Why does that make so much sense to me? Then I'm like, oh, I get it. The things I'm learning are starting to go, oh, that makes sense now. That I can now look back on something that I did in the past and went, oh my gosh. There really, hear me when I say this, there really is a reason for everything that has happened to you, good or bad. And for the bad, I am so sorry that anybody has gone through something. We have all gone through something at some point that has been traumatic for ourselves. Every single person on this earth, I don't care who you are, I don't care how well you were brought up, how well off you were or not, everybody has had something happen to them that makes them scared crapless, that changes who they originally were, that makes going forward into something like, ooh, I gotta be cautious about this. I have to take this with a grain of salt and keep those people at bay because they look scary, or there's something about them that just doesn't feel right, or I don't know about that opportunity. Maybe that's something because it's something that triggered us from something we did. But the past and the future are both figments of your imagination, as much as if I were to imagine anything in my life, everything is created in your imagination. Everything. The fears, the worries, the doubts, the dreams, the goals, the ambitions, they're all in the same place. They're just in different orientations of the brain, or they're in different parts of the cosmos. I don't understand it all. Again, like I said, I'm still learning, still new, and this is going to be a mantra throughout the entire thing. I'm still new, I'm still learning, because each time I get to a different level, it's new again, and I'm still evolving and I'm still growing. And so right now, as I am right now, I think I've learned a lot, but I know that there's still a lifetime of living and a lifetime of learning. And right now, I'm just finally taking the time to document my progress, my progression, my processes, my evolution, and I'm finally giving it up. I'm trying to push it out of me so that it becomes lessons that I've learned to teach, to guide, to inspire, to empower anyone who finds this video. So if you're watching this right now, thank you. Thank you for, and bear with me. It will be a smoother ride as we go along. Everything new is always scary. It's always got some bumps. I don't care how skilled you are at something. If you step into a new area, it's new, it's scary, it's terrifying. But if you show up consistently and frequently and you just keep believing in yourself, in your message, in knowing that you're trying to do good for the world, do good things, do good deeds, be a good person. To be a good person, you just have there's no, it's easy peasy. Because all you have to do is choose. This is what it comes down to in life. We all have choices. I was a victim mentality for so long. So long. Like I still catch myself in moments of nope, 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 we're not going back that. Like I have toxic behavior that I used to participate in. I was a good person, had good intentions, but I came from it from the wrong angles. I lied. I used to, well, I say I lied, but this is what I'm coming down to kind of muddy up when it comes to the world around me. I don't know if I was lying or if I was just telling truths that hadn't yet come to pass, or that, like, from the ego's perspective, that was what it thought we needed to do to get people to like us, to get people to be with us. I was fake. This is why I'm now letting myself out here off the cuff. I'm saying whatever I need to say. Some people will take it and resonate with it and be better for it. Other people will, there'll be as many haters in the comments as there will be people who get it. And I don't care about anybody who wants to try to shut me down, or nobody can say to me anything worse than what I say to myself and have said to myself. And I'll allow it. I'm probably not going to do anything like blocking my channel from people from my channel unless they hurt you, unless that somebody's attacking the my viewers that come here, that come for a safe space. I will be eventually creating a whole world of places for us to go to hang out. So there'll be a community. I already have a Facebook page dedicated to our community, but I'm still back to being new again. That sounded weird, but I've started this before and I fell back out of it. So now I'm back to being new again. Kind of makes sense, kind of not, but whatever. Anyway, being here, I've had so many breakthroughs and breakdowns, as I said. And I've been scared out of my mind because situations have come up where I was forced to have to make a lot of decisions that threaten my and my mom's survival in a way. me being here was ill-advised by everybody because back home, our money is running low. We're not I've been trying to start my business for the last 4 years, and part of my story, part of my old story, my issues, stem from the fact that I have a very loving, devoted mother who is a hover mother, who is very controlling, and as much as she and I didn't realize this all growing up, whenever I struggled with finances, my mom or my grandparents, who were my primary care providers, my parents, if you will, my mom and my grandparents were kind of like a unit for me as far as I was concerned because I spent as much time with my grandparents as I did my mom. They were like my second, they were like my dad. I didn't have one growing up, so my grandparents and my mom raised me together. I was Littlefoot from Land Before Time. That's the only movie that I grew up relating to because I was like, oh, except for that my mom didn't pass on early. Spoiler alert, sorry. But ironically, she did end up getting cancer later in life, and I was like, "Oh my god." Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, my grandpa was the first to pass on, and that devastated me. A series of events landed me in the worst depression I've ever I've ever known. I hadn't known depression at that point, but between 2009 and 2012, I had back-to-back life events that happened that just left me gutted. I'd just dig myself out of the gutter and something would happen. And then I was like, okay, back down, dug myself back up, knock myself back down. Just not myself, but things outside of me, it seemed, were taking me up, taking me down, taking me up, taking me down. It was just to the point where I then burnt out of life for 2012, 2000, so was it 2009 to 2020. Really, in essence, I've been in a stalemate from 2009 to 2020. That's half my life. That was more than half my life. That's a lot of years. It's literally 9 years, right? I don't do math very well, so yeah. But just no, that's not 9 years. That's 11 years. Yeah. Anyway, long time. And another moment of breakthrough because it's like I was stuck for 11 years of my life and I judged it the entire time. I felt like a loser. I felt like a failure. I felt like everything I did just crumbled. I would start to try to do things. I signed up for courses. I signed up for adult ed to continue my um, evolution in school, and I just quit everything. I would start things and quit, start things and quit. I was known as the quitter. But then I got into this self development journey, this self growth journey, and I realized something that all the time I thought I was failing, I was learning. All the times I thought I was down and out, I was actually not as down and out as I like everything that happened to me happen to me, it really did happen for me. All of the things taught me lessons I would need to I was building my character. I was building my internal reservoir of strength and resiliency and not sure if that's a word, but but resilience and just things would happen and I would learn from them. It took sometimes to recycle this same pattern over and over again until I finally did get the message, the learning lesson, and then the people and the things that weren't serving me anymore would just bow out. I've been through so many circles of friends. I've been through countless courses. The thing I've learned about all the quitting I did, I now have bits and pieces of a lot of information, of a lot of knowledgeable things that I have interest in. 'Cause that's all I ever once I got through with school systematically, I've been choosing the things I try, the things I go ahead into, and then as things started to get harder, things started to get scarier, I started having to expand and grow and evolve myself. I got to the point where it was terrifying and I couldn't do it. So I would quit. I would bow out, I would fake an injury, or I'd call in sick so many times that either I'd be kicked out or I just wouldn't show up again. I'd pay the money for the course or the thing and just not go, not show up because I was so afraid to succeed at something. It wasn't that I was afraid to fail, I was failing in the calls, in the, not showing up. That was failing. I was doing fine with that. I was okay with that. That was what I was used to. But as I started to go, "Oh my gosh, I like this. Oh, I'm having fun. Oh, I'm starting to enjoy myself. Oh my goodness, what's this? I'm doing things I want to do and I'm successful at them. I'm getting good praise. Oh my goodness." It was like I went from somebody who I was in my little bubble of failing and I was safe. Wasn't happy, but I was safe. And that's what the ego does. The ego keeps you safe. It keeps you surviving life. But we're trying to go from survival mode to thrival mode. Thriving mode. We're here to thrive by day and night. Because if you're like me, you're a nighthawk. I'm JJ Day, so the name just kind of felt there. I've been trying to work on being a day person, but the irony is I am a night person. Life is full of irony. But I now see that all of my success, all of my failures, my attempts at learning new things, I've equipped myself with a lot of information on things in interests that I am passionate about. And now that I'm in a self growth development journey, it's getting easier. It's still not the easiest yet to try to keep showing up, to start giving my all to my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only one who gets to live this life. It's my job. This is my job. Whatever happens outside of me is irrelevant. My job, your job, is to take care of you, is to live your life. God, source, universe, creator, whoever, whatever you title it, you were put here for a reason. For reasons, maybe not just one. We all came here with some purpose. And some of us have strayed from that purpose. Some of us have gone down when we should have gone up. And some of us have gone up and down. Like, I don't believe people are all bad. I don't believe that people are all good. There is always contrast in life. You have to have one. If you're really good, you got to have really bad. It's a balance. If you didn't have it, the world goes into mayhem when something is off balance. The more internal we become, the more focused on the inside of our mind, soul, body. It's not selfish to focus on yourself, to your self health, your self growth, your self development, your enjoyment in life, your betterment. You are meant to expand and to evolve and become better and better versions of yourself every day. It's not a yearly thing. It's a every moment to moment to moment thing. If you haven't read the book, it's over there. Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, however you pronounce it. You should read it. I'm listening to it on an audiobook because my ADHD sometimes gets in the way of actual reading books. Even though I have throngs of them, I want to build a library because I have so many books. I love books and I love learning new stuff. This is what I've started realizing in my life. I've never been stuck. Only my mind has kept me stuck. My ego has kept me stuck. I have little crevices of information. Every crevice of me has information I have taken in from the world around me, the world in my books and videos, but the world inside of me. When 2020 happened, I got the chance to go back inside of me. I got the chance to retreat out of the friend groups that I had adopted that weren't so. They were good for themselves, but they weren't good for me. I found myself around people that, when I first met them, I felt like I related to them because they were younger than I was. They were in this phase of life that I had just come through and felt like I was struggling. Suddenly, I met these people who were younger than I am, and I got to have a new experience of living vicariously through them my high school years. I partied more than I ever did. I had more friends than I ever did. And yet, while I was surrounded by all these people and all these situations, I had all of my crap moments happen. My worst year of my life, 2013, was just horrendous. Things just happened that were so far from what I thought was a good life. Technically, I should have had my breakthrough then because that was like rock bottom for me. But it didn't happen. I kept on this teeter-totter of events going forward, and I realized that I was so lost. I didn't know who I was. I had spent so many years burying myself in other people, taking on other people's personas, personalities, taking on other people's baggage. I cleaned up other people's messes to the point where I put myself in jeopardy, my future in jeopardy. Literally, like things I did I think to myself now, what was I thinking? Actually, a lot of people around me say, "What were you thinking?" At the time, I was literally just trying to provide for my friends. I had this deep sense of needing to take care of people and to help any way I could. If I could help make anybody's life a little bit better, I tried. But I did it out of desperation as opposed to solidarity in myself. I was doing things to try and earn people's love, to try and earn people's respect, to get people to like me more because I needed their validation. I needed them to tell me I was a good person or to, "Oh my goodness, you did that? Why would you do that? Oh my goodness, you're such an amazing person." I didn't do it for the right reasons. But as I've gotten older and I've looked back on it and I've thought, as unfortunate as this situation was for me, now that I'm looking back and I'm thinking on all of the stuff I've done, I don't regret a single thing I've done. No matter how no matter how much pain I went through because of the things I did, I'm no longer holding myself back from it. I'm no longer feeling like it was a bad thing I did or that it was wrong. I did at the time what I thought I was doing. I thought I was being a good person. I was being a good person. That's the thing. I was helping and I was taking care of people. I was giving other people my best. And regardless of where it came from, the intention was always to help others, and to hopefully get help in return. The question comes in that just came into my head: would I do it all again? Knowing what I've gone through, would I do it all again? And like if situations happen now where I felt like I needed to jump on the fire to smother it out, would I? You know? I don't know if this is wisdom or stupidity, but I probably would do the same thing because at the end of the day, I think what I would do differently though, I would do something differently. I would take the person or the people needing help. I would go 50% of the way to help them to see that they came the rest of the 50% to meet me. Because what ended up happening was I went all in 100%. I took care of them. I will talk about more of my I'll get into the deeper stuff as I go on into this journey. But right now it's just to kind of get a starter so that I can come into this gently because I do know that there will be a lot of people that are, if anybody's listening to this and watching this, there's going to be a lot of mixed reviews. I know because I sound like I'm somebody who's just rambling and I don't really know what I'm doing, and it's true, but it's true and it's not true because I know what I'm doing. I just, but I think I would still do it again because I do believe that the person who felt the need to help is still there. Like I'm still that person. I'm still the person who wants to. I would want to go all in to help. Still, it would be. I'd be at that 50% fence marker fence post, just like, oh, please, just let me step just a little bit further. I'd be begging myself to let me go further. But my higher self, my smarter self, would be saying, no, let them come the rest of the way. Because what I didn't do for them, I did for them what my mom has done for me my entire life. I hovered. I hovered and I smothered the flames, but take me, I didn't put me in a good position. I wasn't in, maybe that's the difference though. Back then I was very unstable. I'm more stable now in myself, so maybe I would go all in and I wouldn't care because I know I would be okay. Back then I wasn't doing, I was trying to get something. This time I'd be trying to just be. I wouldn't be just trying, I would be just being me. That was the difference. Back then I was trying to gain people's respect. Now I don't care who I want people's respect, don't get me wrong, but not at the cost of my self-respect, not at the cost of my dignity. I have worked myself, gotten back to knowing who I am at my core, and I'm still revealing layers of the onion. It's still unfolding. I'm still becoming the best version of myself. I will always be becoming the best version. I'm not sure if I'll ever be the best version of myself, other than to say, I'm me now. That to me is what it means to be unapologetically myself. I knew I would get to the full circle of that whole concept right there. I have done things in my entire life that I've beat myself to the bloody pulp thinking, why did I do that? Other people have questioned why I've done the things I've done. And I get it. I understand why to anybody outside of me, I look like my life has been a complete mess my entire life. But it hasn't been. It has been learning curve after learning curve after learning curve so that I could come to you potentially, so I could learn some lessons that I could go in this journey of introspection and understanding myself so I can show up in the world as the person I was meant to be all along. I'm I'm peeling back the layers. I'm stripping down the wood, stripping down the fanciness and getting back to my heart and soul. And to tie this back into the show I went to see in Dublin, see, everything ties in. Everything. It is such an in-depth show. You need more than one time to go see it. This is why I have gone 5 times. Would have wanted to go 6 times, but I didn't. I didn't dare. I felt like if I go see it a 6th time, I'm just gonna keep. First of all, I also have to be mindful of today because tomorrow I'm supposed to be flying out of here. So, if all things go according to plan, things have been a little bit wonky still. But the show talks about whether like the power to believe in ghosts. It's called 222, A Ghost Story, written by Danny Robbins, and just I'll put it somewhere in the comments or the a note on Instagram. I don't even know where this is all going to go to because my recording changed. My phone had no storage left on it, and then Zoom. So I don't know how this is even going to all go out, but we're learning, we're growing, we're moving, we're grooving. So, but the show itself, it's talking about believing in ghosts, and there's a part of it where they talk about the families and generations in a house, and when we do renovations to the house, are we stripping it of its character, of its charm, of its former lives, stripping it of all the people who once existed there. Is that good or bad? Well, it's the same with us. When we are evolving, we are either doing one of three things in life. We are staying stuck, staying at one level all of our lives. We don't need anything, we're just kind of neutral. Or we're failing, sucking, we're not doing well in life, or we are evolving. We're either going down, going up, or going straight through. Just nothing's changing, nothing's bad, nothing's good. I'm either up or I'm down. I am never in the middle. Working on trying to get there for a little while. It'd be nice to just kind of relax and rest for a little while. But I'm always, things are either really good or things are really bad. Because I am a person who believes I'm an intense person. I do believe in going all in on things. When I have a passion for something, I give it my all. Job, person, if I have something in my heart that is just calling to me, it will not let me go, then I'm as committed to it, to seeing it through as it is committed to staying in me. Because as long as it's in me, I'm like, okay, I need to keep following this, because every time I try not to, that's when my world crumbles. When I don't listen to my inner knowing, my inner self, my inner guidance, things go to heck. Things just poof. And the reason is because I'm straying from my path of righteousness. I'm straying from my path of what I was supposed to be doing here in the first place. Every time I doubt myself, doubting is okay. It's okay to doubt. Every time I listen to the fear and I follow the fear and I stop myself from achieving what I'm trying to achieve, I'm doing nobody any good. Not myself, not anybody else who is listening, who's trying to take on what I'm trying to do. Nothing works well. So to me, being unapologetically yourself is just going forward in your life and caring about what other people think to a degree, but not at the expense of your sanity, of yourself, of your well-being. At the end of the day, every day, you are the only one who is with you 100% of your day. You were with you when you woke up. You were with you when you went to sleep. You were with you through your night's sleep. Unless you have insomnia, and then you're just, you are with you 24/7. Period. End of story. Your mind, your subconscious mind, is with you all the time. You're never alone. Ego likes to think it's in the running, it's in the control booth, it's running the show. It's not. Your subconscious mind is what's running your life. Your ego is what's keeping you stuck most of the time. I'm not in the belief, there's a lot of theories on ego and how egos are bad. We need to eradicate the ego. I think we just need to work with the ego, because the ego itself is not bad. It's what we need it. We still need it. We still want to survive this life. So we need it to start working for us, not against us. That's where I'm trying to figure out how I do that so I can teach it to you guys. I just want to see people happier, living their lives more fulfilled. And I want to do the same with myself. I'm not giving up on any of my dreams. Ever. Even if I put myself in dire situations like I'm about to be in tomorrow, I will update you when I've gotten through the other side of it, because there might be some struggle tomorrow. I don't know. I'm learning to trust this journey. I'm learning to trust myself. And I do believe in miracles. I have seen miracles happen. This trip has taught me miracles. Every time I've come here, I step out of my role back home of failure, of sucker, of just not living life well. I come here and she's gone. I'm in a new perspective. I'm in a new body, mind, spirit, soul. Soul has actually technically been there all the time, but I'm a new person, completely here and now. And I'm now unapologetically myself here. What happens is I'm at the point where I'm just realizing right now how far I've come, and that I'm at a breaking point, a tipping point, where I get to choose who I am now. Because when I go home, I will be tested. I will be reminded of who I used to be, of who I was, the person who failed, who sucked, who doesn't know who she is. I need to be able to keep what I have been working on here and now wherever I go. That's what it means to be unapologetically yourself. It's authentic. It's being you in the moment and not being judgmental on yourself, not being hard on yourself, trying to just take what you understand, like roll with it. At the end of the day, things are going to be okay. When you adopt more of a positive, uplifting mindset, an abundant mindset, this is what it means to live your best life. When you get yourself in the mindset of things always work out for me, baby, expect miracles. Literally expect miracles, because this I've this trip, I have gone from when I first got here, I stayed at a place, and I don't think I had any problems with the first place. But I left there to go up into Northern Ireland, and it was like I went through this time warp of negative situations and bad things happening. I booked a room at a place, turned out to be a complete scam. I'll link down below the scam so that you don't do it. Once I find out legally if I can say stuff like that without having it come back on me. But I booked this place and was in this hardship of a situation. The Uber driver who was driving me from Dublin to, originally it was supposed to be Drogheda, because I was going to take a train from Drogheda to Northern Ireland just to cut the time and the money down. But then I asked him, and mid-ride, could he continue on further and extend the trip. He was driving an electric car, and when he got to the northern area, he was very sketchy about whether he'd have a charging station, a fast charging station. I learned so much about electric cars. I won't get one until I know that the kinks have all been worked out, because there was a few. Mainly, don't get one if you're in a rural area, because apparently charging stations, it's a problem. It's a half an hour versus 6 hours. Apparently, fast charging half hour, at least here in this area. I don't know if it's the same everywhere else, but the point is, he wasn't able to get me to my destination. He was only able to take me so far, even further into Northern Ireland. He got me there, and he took me to the place I was supposed to be staying, but it ended up being like he had to charge the car at a station here, get me there it just ended up being this whole thing. But when we got to the place that he dropped me off at, thank gosh, he did not drive off. Just he was very respectful. He wanted to make sure I would get in okay, which I got to the door, there was a lockbox. I hadn't been given a code. I hadn't no key. There was no office to check on. I kept calling, or I couldn't call because my eSIM that I had purchased was for Ireland. Once you get into Northern Ireland, it's a different country. So it didn't work. So my Wi-Fi went out. My data went out. I had no connectivity there. And it was just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Like, it just seemed like everything was just like rocky. So that had me like freaked out. So, but he had to get going because he didn't know what to do to help me. But so he ended up dropping me off at the McDonald's in Dungannon, up in Northern Ireland. And this is how the universe starts working magic. It makes you realize that there are miracles everywhere. He dropped me off at this McDonald's. I have, if you can see my stuff right there, those are two suitcases, a backpack, a mini backpack that I bought so I could carry things around, so it wouldn't be purse. And at the time, I still kind of have them, but I will be leaving these when I leave here. 2 bags of food stuff. I was like, I looked like a homeless person with all my stuff. Like I came into the McDonald's and I was struggling with stuff, and I parked it luckily there was a place that was, I don't know if it had just been cleaned or whatever, but there was a spot where I could put my stuff, and I just sat there trying to find Wi-Fi, but I couldn't get on their Wi-Fi system because I don't even know why my phone just wouldn't work on their system. But I ended up talking to this one girl who worked there, who was so nice, so helpful. And when she couldn't help me, a friend of her coworkers of hers came over, and the two of them just went over above and beyond. James and Katie, or Katie, no, I said Katie, but that's not it. James and, oh man, Carrie, sorry, close, but James and Carrie, amazing people. If you were up in Dungannon in Northern Ireland, go stop there. They are amazing people. They'll help you. Just wow. But she apparently is somebody who just wants to help. And James, he helped me use his WhatsApp so I could contact my mom, because I was there with no money. My money was through, I had my mom e-transferring or putting money into my bank account from home so that I wouldn't go crazy spending. That's the smart thing we did. Except for this made it a whole lot more terrifying because I had no money where I was. So I'm sitting in a McDonald's where I can't get on Wi-Fi. I have no connections to anybody. I don't even know where I'm staying because I can't get on any app to book another place. It was like wild. So he's helping me with the phone to talk to my mom. She's trying to help me because her dad's a taxi driver, Billy, and he was the one who alerted us to the fact that it was probably a scam because he's dropped people off there before and nothing's ever happened. He's never nobody's ever been able to get in, nothing. So he ends up finding me a place, not only finding me a place, but taking me to it. He comes and gets me, and like through a half an hour of me sitting there like, oh my god, my life just went, what am I gonna do? Thinking I'm gonna be homeless in the McDonald's for the night because I don't know what to do and potentially ever. I had these three wonderful people just rally around me to help me. And I felt like, oh my god, what just happened? He took me to he found me a place. They had one room available and it was cheaper than the place I was going to be staying at. It was handier than the place I was going to be staying at because I'd gone up there to see a friend and the event was um, a little piece away. So it was really convenient. So I got this place that was cheaper than the other place would have been. And I mean, still technically I lost out of the money because I haven't been able to get it back yet. But in all of that, and then the next morning, I had to go to this event for my friend. She couldn't come and get me because she was running the event, and so the Billy came back the next morning to pick me up and take me there free of charge because I still hadn't been able to figure out how I was getting my money. But I was like, are you kidding? Like that, you do not need to do that. But these three people were so willing. And then when I got to the place, Kohannon Inn in Dungannon, Raymond was the person that helped me the most. He was there at the beginning and just listened to the whole craziness as I was explaining, and Billy was helping me explain because he was just, it was just this amazing situation that came from a bad one. So if you're going through like a dark night of the soul, like you feel like your life is just going through hell, please, please, just in your darkness, have turn on a light for what it was. Turn on uh, a light that says, "Wait a minute, there might be another option. This isn't. I'm not done yet. I'm not done." Because the one thing about hitting rock bottom is you have nowhere else to go but up. I wasn't rock. This wasn't my rock bottom. This is the weird thing. Like as scary as it has been this last little while, when situations come up, this is how I know I've changed. I'm changing eternally. I'm changing because I can now, when I'm in a situation that feels like it should be a rock bottom or like, oh my God, there's no way out of this, whatever. I have reprogrammed my brain to be able to say, you know what, this could actually still work out. I don't know how. I surrender to the how because that's what you never know the how and never know the why, but you know the what and well, you kind of know the why. You're a good person. If you're a good person, things will happen for you. If you give your give your all, you do your best, you have your, abundant mindset, you're starting to think more positively, things are going to happen. Things are going to turn around better than you can ever imagine. What I'm still trying to work on is getting conscious about it and going, you know what, this is what I want to experience. This specific thing, these specific things I want to do, this specific person I want to be with or I want to do, things I want to do. God, this is not that good of a transfer. But if you can start to just open your mind to the possibility that there's something better out there for you, you're gonna see things start to reflect that because that is what the world does. It reflects your assumptions and your beliefs. This is what the law of assumption teaches. It is a law, just like gravity, just like all the basic laws of the universe. You cannot stop manifesting. Manifestation is life, being in life. Who are you being in your life? Who are you assuming you are? Who are you assuming others are? Because your world reflects what you assume outside of you. So you are always going to get what you expect, what you assume, what you believe subconsciously. Nobody wants to admit this, but we think we want certain things, and we do. We have dreams, we have goals, but in our internal brain, it's like, no, this isn't what you do. This isn't who you are. So what you got to get better at doing is reprogramming yourself to realize that life it can be better than it ever imagined it. It can be as good or better as you imagine it to be. When you go in here and you start to realize that this is the creation center, this is where all the magic happens. It isn't out here. You don't change anything out there. The coaches that I listen to talk about this world outside of you. There's a window there. The world outside of your consciousness, your awareness right here and right now, it's all illusion. I hear cars out there. I hear things. I see things. I don't see through. I don't see through the walls yet, but I feel things. I'm a sentient. I think that's what they call it, clairsentient. I feel things. The world outside of my five senses, the things I can see, taste, touch, smell, hear, they're all a figment of my imagination. They can all be malleable. What's out there, I can assume that that's a car I'm hearing right now. It could be a bus. It's still a vehicle, but it could be a plane. It could be a train, for all I know. Now that is definitely a plane. But everything outside of me can be anything. It is anything and everything all at once. You haven't seen that movie? Go see it. it it is unfathomable how much our brain thinks it's in control when it is, but it's our ego thinks it's in control. Our subconscious brain is the thing that's in control. Always. We become conscious of that and we change the programming. We change our lives. Being unapologetic myself is learning how I live my life, how I create my life, how I assume, how I take on my assumptions, how I change my assumptions. Who am I now? Am I the version of me who is living the life I want to be living? And guess what? This is to me as much as it is to you. I will be watching my video back and I will be going, oh my goodness. Either I'll be cringing for most of it, but I will also be going, oh, you know what? I'm getting it myself because I understand logically what I'm supposed to be doing. was weird. I just felt the entire building shake. Hey, that was very weird. The spiritual journey, the spiritual side of my evolution is still wild and kind of throws me off. But when I get literally resonating with things, I feel the world shift. It's such a weird feeling. But when I changed the fact that, yeah, that threw me off actually. We have more control of our lives than we realize once we start to cultivate a better understanding of who we are. I can choose to be the version of me I want to be at any given moment. And the change is instant. The switch happens. It's literally like somebody goes on and off. The breaker panel, the power button, somebody just reboots and suddenly you're in this new, it's instant. When I started like this trip, when I started going, things are working out for me always. Things are like, and I started like, this is an affirmation, a mantra I'm adopting for the rest of my life because it saves me every time. Everything is always working out for me in my favor. My life is now what I want it to be. I am now the person who is living the life I want to be living. And I'm making the choices every single day, whether I doubt them or not, that align myself to this outcome I want to experience. But I become that experience first. That's where I'm still a little bit wobbly, but I'm testing it tonight like I did the day I was like, what's going on? I kept myself afloat. Things started to happen because I started going from I'm panicked and freaking out. Like, what? I don't have a place to stay now. Like, what's going on? What's happening? I keep through my fear. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be sleeping in a place tonight. I'm going to be sleeping in a comfortable bed. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be going to my event tomorrow. I want to see my friend, and I'm all of that stuff that I'm like, okay, keep focusing on what I want to experience. And I did. And it was better than I could have imagined. And I met wonderful people. I may never see them again. I hope I do one day. I hope I can one day go and return favors for them that they gave to me. But they helped me along my journey, and I will forever be grateful to them and to myself for handling the situation because I chose to ask somebody for help. I was sitting there for the longest time trying to figure something out on my own, and that was not happening, and I was getting more and more stressed out. Literally, sometimes all it takes is just asking. Asking a simple, can you help me with your Wi-Fi? I don't seem to be able to get onto your Wi-Fi and I'm needing this. And then they ask questions, you answer, and suddenly you have someone who's you never like. And you might be thinking, oh, that was just lucky for you. Like that couldn't happen to me. It can happen for you too. When you believe something miraculous can come out of something bad, be open to everything. Open yourself to possibilities beyond your fathomable brain because you will just watch your life change completely in the blink of an eye, good or bad. You can change your positive to a negative instantly too. And this is right now what I'm struggling with. I'm trying to go, okay. Most of the time I have a positive outlook and things just shoot up. And I get up there I get scared, my ego gets scared, and it's like, oh my God, we're gonna be in a place where we don't understand this now. Like, we don't know what's going on. So then it gets scared and it starts bringing you down a little bit. Like, let's come back down to where so right now I'm doing this leveling up slowly. But today, I am choosing to stay up no matter what, because tomorrow is very sketchy. Tomorrow's Friday, it's very sketchy. But I'm also affirming that it's sketchy. Your words matter. Please realize this. Your words, your thoughts matter. Get control of them and you get control of your life. Get control of them and you become unapologetically yourself. I know this is all over the map. I'm going to try and end it here because I am tired. My voice is breaking up. And I want to go and meditate and start to reintegrate what I just told you, because I've felt myself go, okay, yeah, now let's go. Let's go do that. Let's go keep this trajectory going, keep the momentum up. Because the more I build on the positivity, the more positivity I'm going to receive. That's how you win in this life. That's how you learn to thrive. Seriously. I am a success in my own mind and soul. I know now like what I'm doing, and it's just a matter of time for my 3D, my outside world, to start reflecting that change. And it has been. Not lucratively, not in all of the areas, but I'm seeing and feeling, this is more thing, feeling better more often. Then I step outside and things just come to me easily. And even sitting here, some of my manifestations come to me in this room, and I'm like, how's that possible? Because you're always wherever you meant to be. And every manifestation is as easy as each. Your little manifestations and your big manifestations are the same. It's just how much power we give each other. We give those things. We are powerful beings that have more in us than we realize. I want to help you find that. I want to help you let your inner power out so that you can change your entire life. And I was going to say, in a year, you're going to live a whole different life. In a week, you can change your entire life. In a month, they say it takes 21 days, I think it is, to change a habit. If you change enough habits in 21 days, you've changed your entire life. Changing a habit is a thought. Changing your beliefs is a thought. You're one thought away from changing your entire life right now. Stop thinking about life as lack and it's sparse and you gotta grip the handlebars and you gotta hold on tight to the thing and let go. When you start to just let go of the control, the irony is, the paradox is, you get more control over your life. You get more value in your life. You get more abundance, more value, more everything. So that's what I have for you today. Like I said, this was all over the map. I'm not even sure if I tied it off well, but if you got anything from this, whatever platform you're watching this on, it's going to be on YouTube for the most part, because this is probably the only place I can put something this long. I'm probably going to have to break this up into 2-3 parts, maybe. I don't know. But please do yourself a favor and start cultivating a new mindset, new belief systems. You have your power to change yourself. You don't need a coach, but I do recommend getting coaching. I am going to be opening up my own coaching practice very soon, but my situation has me a little bit strapped for cash. So once I do that, I'm going to be, but it's a mindset. I'm working on it. Today, maybe I want to leave you with something that you can actually try to do. Something I've been doing, I journal a lot. I write my thoughts down. I track my thoughts. I track my. Think of something you want to manifest, you want to attract into your life, you want to change in your life. One thing, big, small, doesn't matter. Commit to it for a week. Affirm, script, or journal. It's kind of the same things, but scripting is more, this will happen. This journaling is like, oh, I want this to happen. This has happened. This has happened. I think journaling is more like past tense, whereas scripting is like, I am this. I am doing this. This is me now. I'm a writer, so that's where I tend to go. There's imaginary acts you can do, imaginal acts, visualizing, inner conversations. That's another thing I think I tend to do. I do scripting and inner conversations. Having, like, we have inner conversations with each other, with ourselves all the time. Usually it's you're crap, you're not good enough or whatever. You have that mindset, that talk in your head. Let's change it to like more positive. I am so abundant. I have so much money. I have so much love. I have so much health and wealth. Whatever it is that you're trying to attract, tell yourself, I'm always such and such. Have inner conversations with people and tell them good things. Tell them the things you're like, go to past what you are looking to get and say, oh, I've got it. I have it now. I've done the thing. I've achieved this goal. Have a conversation with someone and tell them in your dream or in your mind, in your head, oh my God, this was so wonderful. And make it feel real. Get all your senses involved. This is how you use your senses. You go into your imaginary acts and then you feel, you think, you taste, you touch, you smell, you see. And do that 2 to 3 times, morning, noon, and night. Do this 3 times a day. Or more if you need it, but not too much so that you have like anxiety attacks. Start going to bed and waking up, especially with what you want in your life. Thinking about what it would. Think what it would be like. What would you be doing? All the things you would be feeling. Would you be happy? You'd be happier. You'd be healthier, wealthier, wiser, whatever. It would feel so good to be able to wake up in the morning and just relax knowing that you have the money, you have the thing, you're going to this place, you're doing this, you're with your partner, whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Do that. Spend time with yourself in imagination 3 times a day. It doesn't have to be for long. 10 minutes. You'll find it if you want to. We have all the same time in the world. People are able to manifest and create the lives that they want. You can do it too. They are no exception. They're not special. They're just doing the work. They're doing the stuff to change their lives and working through the fear. They're working through the doubt, through the limitations. They're saying, what if instead of what? Oh my. Like, I can't do that. I can do that. I might be able to do that. If you can't do I can from I can't, say, I wonder if I could. I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could do that, what would it be like? Start to ponder the thing of what you want, because we all have a goal or a dream that seems unattainable. How do I bridge the gap from that, from where I am to where I want to be? I think, who would I be? What would I do? So this is why I like writing, because I can write a story about myself. This is who I am now. This is who I am now. And then I write, this is what I'm trying to get better at doing. I have so much written. I need to read it more. So this is what I'm going to commit to. I'm going to be writing from now on, and then I'm going to write it at nighttime, and then read it throughout the day, or vice versa. Write it in the morning and then read it throughout the day. Instead of journaling each time, write something in the morning, and then maybe add to it at noon, add to it at night, and see if in a week things have changed. Pick a process. Pick a process. I'll leave some of them down below, maybe on this video somewhere. The processes of how to get into your more abundant mindset. And yeah, just if you get any results, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear, to find out if anything I've said is becoming valuable. If anything resonates with anybody, please let me know. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, also down below. I will be putting down my links as I get them, as I have ways to work with me, ways to get in touch with me. It will all be down in the comments below. Thank you very much if you've taken the time to watch this entire thing. I'm so sorry. I rambled a lot, but I hope you did find little nuggets of gold in there, because I know I felt them. I felt the shifts I know that you'll have felt them at the same time as I do if you resonate with the messages. So I just want to help. I'm starting to learn so many things about myself and life now that I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'd only known this sooner, it would be a game changer. So it would have been a game changer then. So the things I'm trying to teach you now, like I get such amazement from my life now. And I think people need to know this stuff. So I'm hoping that you'll be one of these people that get to know this stuff, and you start to realize, oh my goodness, I'm no longer stuck. The fear comes up when you start to realize it's working. This is what I've come to realize. I get scared when I'm realizing, oh, we're in new territory right now. Oh my God, I'm scared to shoot this. But I know each time I'm like, oh, but the fact that I'm scared means that something's really working, because if I'm feeling scared, it means I'm out of my comfort zone. And you can't be scared in your comfort zone. So if you're scared, realize that's working. Things are happening inside of you. If you're scared, if your anxiety's flaring up, it's because you are being tested. You are testing yourself. You are pushing your limits. You're exceeding your limits, actually. You push through, and now you're like, oh my goodness, this doesn't feel safe. This doesn't feel good. Oh my God. Feeling good and feeling, there's a paradox. Trust your feeling, but if you feel unsteady, realize it's working. It's a good thing to feel uncomfortable, to feel out of sorts. You're going to be discombobulated for a little while, because you are literally changing your state of being. You are going from something to something else. It's like it's like a foreigner coming to a new country. It's, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. I can't believe I'm here. Oh my God, I'm here now. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? How am I going to do this? These are the things you journal. These are the things you imagine. How would I act? How would I be? Once you get those things in your head, you start to calm yourself. You start to level out. You start to realize, oh my goodness, my fear is what actually propelled my growth. Once I realized I can fight through it, I can get myself through that hard stuff. That's when you get the rush of resonance because you go, oh my goodness, I just got it right now. You just get this. I've been struggling to be here. I'm already here. Seriously, it's like the best drug feeling. Like I've not drug, like I feel like I get this like wave over me and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Now I understand why I'm so fidgety and I feel like I'm so irritable. It's not because that I'm stagnant, or it's not that I'm not nothing's working. Everything is working. I'm being I'm experiencing a whole new version of me and a whole new version of this world. And it looks the same, but it feels so different. That's where you get discombobulated because it's like, why does it look the same, but it feels off, feels different. Change it from it feels off to feels on. You feel on track. You feel like, oh, okay, this is new. This is good. New is good. Not scary. New is good. New is what we want. That's what I have for you today. See, keep listening. It keeps the nuggets just keep coming to me, and this is the stuff I love because when it's fresh and off the cuff, I I surprise myself and I go, oh, okay, wow, okay, yes, that's so that's it. I'm gonna stop here because I'll just keep epiphanying, and we'll be here for days, and I don't have days to be here, so I hope you take care of yourself, prioritize yourself because you're the only one that really, at the end of the day, I was gonna say you're the only one that matters, but we all matter, but you're the only one who is responsible for you. Take care of you. And when you take care of you, everybody else is taken care of instantly. Because we're all better when we're better. So I hope you learn to live unapologetically yourself. Be you because you are beautiful, you are loved, and I hope you have a thrive by day. Thrive.